Hello, gaming enthusiasts! This is Mega Crisis coming back at you with Stanley Parable!
Okay, guys.
With my friend CrippleKing!
Yeah. Let's see. Well, we posted these other videos, and apparently they didn't save. Go ahead. So we don't really know if they saved or not. Mainly it's my fault because I was pushing buttons for no reason. But we're just gonna go with it, see what happens. But why is the dude not say anything?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's just listen to instructions.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
That's different.
disbelief, Stanley decided
Yet there
to
is
go
not a
up to
single
his
person here
boss's
either.
office, hoping he might find an
You
answer there.
didn't say that before.
Maybe it did save.
Wait, where was the janitor workroom thingy? Oh, there it is.
Right.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet,
Yeah.
but there was nothing here, so he turned around
It's alright,
and got
we're good.
back on track.
So this is proof, or maybe after a while, just keep going. We're good.
I want to stay in here for a bit.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be
I want to see
here.
if he says anything after a while.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. The
Sweet.
door closed. Oh,
First
okay.
day. Sweet.
Are you
effing
really
anything.
still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
No, that's
Why?
why?
Please give
Why?
me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Alright, I guess we should
You do
leave now.
realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Alright, you shut up,
I never
Mr.
would have
Narrator.
thought to mention it.
Alright. Guess let's go.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Best up stores, NA. Oh my god.
Oh, I thought that was a dude.
Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my
you ever
coworkers
had the
blinking
feeling that things
mysteriously
just, you know,
out of existence in a
just
single
repeat
moment
themselves?
for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh dear.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
You don't
Were they
say.
simply religion? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
There's a word for
I'm
that.
dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Oh dear.
Relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer,
He
an
wasn't crazy at all.
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy
Wait
after
for it.
all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun.
Go away,
And
you
Stanley
freeloaders.
realized that he had still not woken up.
You go away,
Oh my
freeloaders.
god! Oh, it's breaking
now
the
they're
screen.
breaking the
Strangest
screen. Good
question
job.
of all entered Stanley's head. While he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Pull that off.
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything
God damn
I'm
it.
doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley,
Scrubs.
who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
So what are we gonna do about
How
that?
could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right
I
now
could.
as he's ever been in his life.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Can we get into
that
this car,
was a
please?
dream.
Why is this car like?
So he closed his
there's
eyes
nowhere
gently,
for this car to go.
and he invited himself
Like there's
to
not
wake
even
up.
a garage.
He felt
Like how did this
the
car
cool
get
weight
into
of
this
the
room?
blanket
You know?
on his skin,
And how are the
the
lights?
press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
The
My
doctor.
life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Walk.
Stanley began screaming.
Please,
somebody wake me up.
My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
And now we're a
Mariella
female.
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment,
people-
she thought
That's
to herself how
stereotypical.
lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
I know what is real.
I know
and what
what
isn't.
is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time
My
for
name
this,
is Bear Grylls,
so it was
and I'm
only
about
a
to drink my
moment
own
that she
piss.
stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
And that's what we like to call being a douche.
And didn't even call an ambulance.
That's what we get for being a douche.
Alright, let me do something real quick.
Alright.
We will be back after a brief pause. Alright, we are back.
Back to the old grind.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Again. And again.
And again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no.
That's always
I won't be
funny.
part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Well, there's only one thing I like doing in this room.
Waiting for 3 hours?
Parable!
Okay, time to get out of here. Let's go! Onward to victory!
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I did that. I'd go to the bathroom, but it's not open yet. That's who it wasn't before. And that door's locked as well. Let's go. Let's put the code in before we
Stepping
really
into
know
his
what
manager's
it is.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let
It's
the
deja vu,
narrator
though.
talk.
It's very
That
much
kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
That dubstep
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the
wrong
open
key.
passageway.
Still the wrong key. Or does that... No, nothing's over there, Stan. Thinking something will be... What boy. Beautiful, beautiful world. What I don't get is why we're never on the bottom floor. Why are we always on the top? Where's my phone? Why is there a mouse pointing
Descending
in the
deeper
wrong
into the
screen?
building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
Question
Why
the
did he
nature of
feel
his
this
job.
now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility. Let's push the button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This time, we're going to try and do things a little bit differently this time.
Now the monitors jumped to
Pootie
life.
Tang. I
Their
like
true
Pootie
nature
Tang.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee
I like
in the
some tail
building.
every now and
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images
Yes,
on a
about
screen.
500 individuals.
And Stanley,
And
one of
apparently
them,
one is fired and one is
eternally monitored
fired.
in this place
Why,
where
I'm not
freedom
sure.
meant nothing.
One day we will never find out.
Here we watch the Stanley
This mind
Parr
control
in his
facility,
natural
it was too
habitat.
horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Let's get in the elevator.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't
Pirate.
accept
Why is he a
it.
pirate?
His own life in
understand.
someone else's
Why
control?
isn't he?
Never.
question.
It
Don't
was
make us ask,
unthinkable.
Mr. Necrosis.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he
You really are
truly
a
spent
mecha
his entire
crisis.
life
Ah.
utterly blind to the world?
Let's see.
But here was the proof.
Let's
The
see what
heart
happens
of
if
the
he pushes the
operation.
buttons beforehand.
Controls labeled with emotions.
You know what I mean.
Happy or sad
One.
or content. Walking, eating,
Two.
working. All of it monitored
Three.
and commanded
Three-
from this
three's over
very
this way.
place.
Three is
And as the
over
cold
here.
reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that
number
this
2,
machinery
4,
would
4,
never again
4 was
exert
up
its
there, right?
terrible power
Yeah, 4 was up
over
there.
another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for
Yeah, walk over
all.
here. Let's see what happens. Back up, back up, back up. I cannot push it to the floor. Boo-doo, boo-doo. Let's go press 5 and then let's go press the red button.
A big red button.
Ooh, what does this button do?
It does what I want it to.
Did he know?
Daddy, no!
It does nothing, I guess. Alright.
Right then, let's press the button that we were meant to press.
The button that we did not press the last time. Hopefully this will be different. System power.
And when at last he found...
Off.
We didn't even wait for him to talk.
It's because we already been through this before. Walk forward. Can we not walk forward?
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I don't know. I don't know up and down anymore.
Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his code
to the blackness
gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power.
I'm very
that he
confused,
had been
Crisis. Can you explain this to me?
I have no idea what's going on, man. No idea what
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
How the hell did we get over here,
That
then,
was
man?
all he needed to know.
We weren't there right
It
there.
was perhaps
Stand by some buttons.
the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Through there.
I can't step through it yet.
Now step.
Stanley felt
we
the
win?
cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation,
You can move around, so I
the
think.
immense possibility of the new path before him.
So beautiful.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things
Turn
were
around and
meant
look at
to
the
happen.
building. I want to know where this building came
And
from.
Stanley
And how the hell did it open up
was
like that?
happy.
And where did we go through the center of the earth? Because we were definitely in the city.
We were definitely
So many questions.
really low in the
We
ground.
beat the game. Congratulations.
How did we beat the game?
I don't think we did. I just think that's just one ending. I feel like there's many more. Let's continue, shall we?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oops. I had pressed the wrong button there for a second.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
I have an
doors,
idea.
he
We've
entered
already
the
been to
door
the
on
big
his
TV
left.
room. Let's try going back to the way that we went before and see if he says something different. You know what I mean, mate? Remember how last
This
time you
was
said it
not
was a
the correct
spoiler?
way to the meeting room, and Stanley
See
knew
what
it
happens if he
perfectly
says it
well.
after we've already
Perhaps he
been
wanted
there.
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire
Just
it.
to admire it.
Just to
Wow.
admire it.
Yes,
What a
this
beautiful
room. What but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
The first open door on the
And
left.
so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Got back on track.
This is completely back on track. We all know this.
We would like some coffee. Would we like some coffee? No, we would not like some coffee. How long have we been
But
videos?
Stanley didn't want to go back to the
Videos?
office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
We're over the rainbow.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
What
It's
was you
clearly-
thinking?
I don't know,
Oh, dear,
man.
would you
He
hold
should
on a minute?
clearly get his head straight.
If he has a head.
That's a good question. He apparently does not have any legs.
Down, right, left, down, left.
Or arms,
right.
for that matter.
Or maybe even
yes.
fingers. Who knows?
I've got it now.
He
This
might be a
story is
floating
absolutely,
conscience.
Definitely
Maybe we are a
this
floating
way.
conscience. Ever think about that? Continue to walk for me, mate. Thank you very much. Alright, let's go through the door. Alright, everyone.
No,
How are y'all doing today?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler.
Close your eyes.
Quick,
I don't know how to
Stanley,
do that.
close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
600. What is 600
Who am
there?
I kidding?
Red.
Red.
That one's
Fire.
Story is completely unusable. How about
That
rather
was
than
too
waste
easy,
my
I guess.
time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track. Okay, from the top.
Can we jump? Oh,
Now this will change it again.
I hope so.
Wait, we gotta. No, we don't. Yes, we do.
What should we do? Has that been 3?
I think it's been 3.
Alright, mates. Well, even though we've already done those 3, except for maybe the first one.
You want to do one more to add a little flair?
Yeah, let's do one, just because we messed up before.
All of this
You messed up before.
Hey man,
What
I'm
could it
sorry,
mean?
buttons and a controller. it's
Stanley
just fun
decided to
push
go to the
sometimes.
meeting room. Perhaps he
Let's
had
go back to
simply
the
missed a
office
memo.
and see what happens. Maybe there's something different. We have to try and do things as many times as possible, as fast as we can. Oh, it's one of these
When
again.
Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did
Stanley.
something change?
Stanley, did you change
Did you
anything?
change anything when we were back in that room
Yes.
with all the monitors? Did you
Yes,
move
I spoiled.
the story somewhere or...
Spoilers.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure.
Oh.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Didn't we go through this already?
I think it always leads back into a circle, but yeah, it does. I just want to see if I can somehow make it.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you
Yeah, it just
there
always
definitely
comes back to
was a
the
story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay, one last try.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Again,
What?
and again, and again.
Okay,
And now
yeah.
there's no rules.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
This is definitely different. I like this. Alright. Alright.
This video might be longer, but who cares?
Who cares how you do that?
What the? Did you see that?
Yes. Go back through there. Can we go that way?
No.
Guess not.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something.
What
The
the?
story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay,
Let's keep
let's
going.
head back the
This
other
is an
way and
interesting one. We
retrace
have
our
not seen this
steps.
one. This is the best finale to this episode I've seen yet.
What?
Oh.
Oh!
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Do you remember Stanley?
Do you remember, Stanley?
Not
Do
quite,
you know
actually.
what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing,
Oh.
how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
We have to keep playing. Alright, how about... Okay, hold on.
Oh, that's a freaking line
Okay,
now!
Well, okay, guys, we'll catch back up with you in just a minute.